Hi everyone! So many of you have slid into my DMs asking how to bag yourself a Korean guy. Now let's be real, dating someone just for their ethnicity is a slippery slope and I don't recommend that. But if you find yourself in Korea, it's only natural to want to experience the dating scene here. As someone who's actually fluent in Korean and engaged to a Korean man, I think it's safe to say I know my stuff. So today, I'm sharing must-know phrases to take you from first meeting to marrying a Korean man. If you want to level up your dating game in Korea or just have some fun, this video is for you.
I know sooner or later it will come.
I'm very serious about this. I split this entire, let's say, tutorial into 7 stages. We're gonna start at the first meeting. So you're in the club, you see a hot guy. He claims to be an idol trainee. So you go up to him and the first phrase you're gonna use is 혹시 운명 같은 거 믿어요? 저 이제부터 믿어보려고요. This means, do you believe in things like fate? I'm going to try believing in it from now. So the reason why this works is a lot of people don't believe in fate or destiny. And you're pretending to be someone who doesn't believe in destiny either. But now that you've seen this good-looking fella, you want to believe in fate. They are so hot, they change your belief system. As for grammar, you all know 혹시. 혹시 is like by any chance. And it's often used to just soften down a question. Because if you say 운명 같은 거 믿으세요? It's like, wait, and they kind of miss the first word. So if you start with 혹시, then they're like, oh, a question is coming, and they listen to you. So 운명 is destiny or fate. 같은 거 믿어요. 같은 거 is like things like. When you add 같은 거 to something, it does mean literally things like, but it also gives the vibe that it's something you don't really care about. Like, 나 영화 같은 거 안 봐. I don't watch things like movies. So you're kind of like, 나 책 같은 거 안 읽어. You're kind of looking down on it. So by saying 운명 같은 거, you're pretending not to care about things like destiny. 전 이제부터 믿어보려고요. 전 is just 저는, but the abbreviation of it, 전. 이제부터. So 이제 is now and 부터 is from now on. 이제부터. From now on, 믿어보려고요. 믿다 is to believe, and by attaching 믿어보려고요, you're saying I'm gonna try to believe it. Okay, next one. 혼자 왔어요? 내 약혼자? This is basically a dad joke. First you ask 혼자 왔어요? Did you come alone? 혼자 means alone. 왔어요 means come. 혼자 왔어요? Did you come alone? And then 내 약혼자? 내 is my. And 약혼자 actually means fiance. But if you translate it literally, it means the one promised to marry me. 약 means promise, and 혼 is marrying, and 자 is person. So promise, marrying, person, fiance. But in this case, it's a little play of words because 혼자 means alone, and when you say 약혼자, it sounds like 혼자. It's a word play. Next one. 왜 이렇게 늦었어요? 왜 이제야 내 앞에 나타난 거예요? 평생 기다렸잖아요. This means, why are you so late? Remember, this is the first time you're meeting them. So, why are you so late? Why do you only now appear in front of me? I waited my whole life. Let's dissect this. The game is you're meeting this person for the first time, but you're asking them why they're so late. So they're gonna be like, what? I don't know you. I did not agree to meet you. What do you mean, why am I late? And then you continue to say, I waited for you my whole life. Again, it's a destiny thing. 왜 means why, 이렇게, this much, basically emphasis. 늦었어요, late. Why are you this late? And then 왜, why again, 이제야. 이제 means now. But by adding 야 to it, you give it emphasis, like only now. It's a late now. You waited a long time now. And 내 앞에, in front of me, 나타나다, appear, 나타난 거예요. 평생 is my whole life, and 기다렸잖아요. I waited. Okay. I am trying to explain each grammar aspect of every phrase that I give you, but if you want to actually practice these lines or any Korean with a real person, Preply is my favorite way to do it. On Preply, you can find one-on-one tutors who create classes exactly based on your needs. So if you tell them you want to bag a Korean guy, they're gonna tell you what kind of Korean sentences you can use to bag a Korean guy. Although you're not gonna need that because I'm already providing that for you. But if you want to practice those lines, the Preply tutors got your back. By taking classes that are specifically tailored to your needs, you're gonna sound much more natural than any textbook could ever teach you. Preply is the best way to take Korean classes. I love Preply. I've been taking classes on Preply. And if you also want to give Preply a try, there's a 50% discount link in my description box. So make sure to use it to get 50% off your trial class on Preply if you're serious about learning Korean. Now, you're done with the first meeting, so we're moving on to light flirting and banter. 저 원래 이런 말 잘 안 하는데 멋있네요. 그쪽? This means I usually don't say things like this, but you're really cool. 저 is I, 원래, usually, 이런 말, words like this, 잘 안 하는데, I usually don't do. You're basically just trying to convey that what you're about to say is special. You don't say this to everyone. 멋있네요 means cool. It can also mean handsome. It's a very broad word. Anything can be 멋있다. Only in the end, you say 그쪽, which means you over there. By putting the subject at the end of the sentence, you are making yourself very mysterious until the person hears what you're referring to as 멋있네요. They don't know. You might want to say this bar is cool, your watch is cool. So they're listening to you actively. What is 멋있네요? What is 멋있네요? And then you're 그쪽. You are cool. Okay, next. 너한테 좋은 향 난다. 내 취향. This is another one you can't translate literally because it's a wordplay, but I'm still gonna translate it literally first. 너한테, from you, 좋은, good, 향, smell. 난다 is just there to make 향 a verb. So there's a good smell coming from you. And then 내 취향. 취향 means taste, preference. This is a word place because 향 by itself means smell or scent. And the syllable 향 is also inside the word 취향. The way you can use the word 향 in Korean is, for example, if something smells like bananas, you say 바나나 향이 난다. Or if something smells like roses, 장미향. Or 민트향, anything. So when you say 너한테 좋은 향 난다, they're gonna think, oh, what do I smell like? Do I smell like vanilla? Do I smell like cologne? But you are a witty person and you say 내 취향, which also ends with 향, but it's actually not a word for a scent. It's a word for your type, my type. You smell like my type. Koreans love word plays. There are so many word plays in Korean because you work with these syllables. It's actually quite easy to make word plays in Korean. Okay, next one. 나 수영 못하는데 어떡하지? 너한테 빠질 것 같은데. This is another wordplay, but we're gonna translate literally first. I can't swim. What should I do? I think I might fall for you. This actually sounds pretty fine in English too, but just to give you a quick explanation, the point of this wordplay is in the first sentence you say you don't know how to swim. Girl, we're in a bar, you don't have to swim. But then you are a witty person again and you say 너한테 빠질 것 같은데. So 빠지다 can mean two things. It can either mean sink, like when you're in the water. If you don't swim, you're gonna sink to the bottom of the water. You're gonna 빠지다 until the very bottom. But 빠지다 can also mean to fall for someone, like 사랑에 빠지다, fall in love with someone. So this is a word play by combining you not knowing how to swim and 빠지다, in love. Even if you know how to swim, you can still use this. This is just a witty wordplay. Next one. 그거 알아요? 너무 잘생긴 사람을 보면 기억력이 나빠진대요. 그거 알아요? 너무 잘생긴 사람을 보면 기억력이 나빠진대요. 그거 알아요? 너무 잘생긴 사람을 보면 기억력이 나빠진대요. 그거 알아요? This means, did you know? They say when you see someone really handsome, your memory gets worse. Did you know? They say so 그거 알아요 is just you're letting them know that you're about to give them a new information. Do you know this? 그거 알아요? 그거 this 알아요? No. 너무 very 잘생긴 사람, handsome person 보면 if you see 기억력. 기억 means remember or memory, and 력 means the capacity to or the strength to. So 기억력 is your capacity of memory, your memory. 나빠진대요. They say it gets worse. I'm sure you already got it, but by repeating yourself over and over again, you're basically letting them know that you think they're handsome. I want to add this is my personal favorite. Please keep going for like 10 repetitions. That would be hilarious. Next one. 보물찾기 시작. 찾았다. 내 보물. This means treasure hunt start. I found it. My treasure. For context, in Korea, 보물찾기 is a very, very common game. At events or special days or celebrations, you do a little treasure hunt. For example, hide a little piece of paper and whoever finds it gets a prize. It is very common. So if you suddenly yell out 보물찾기, then everybody's gonna start looking. It's out of reflex. I think in English, when you say treasure hunt start, people are like, what? What treasure hunt? But in Korea, it's like a reflex. You're gonna start looking for the piece of paper because you want to get the prize. So 보물찾기 시작. 시작 means start. And then 찾았다. 찾았다. I found it. By saying 찾았다 and not 찾았어 or 찾았어요, you kind of put in the element of surprise in it. And the twist is you're referring to your date as the treasure. So 보물 means treasure. You've done your flirting and your light banter, and now you're going on your first date. 혈액형이 뭐예요? 인형? So this is actually culturally very relevant. It is a wordplay, but I'm still gonna translate it literally even if it doesn't make much sense. What's your blood type? Doll? In Korea, first of all, it's very common to ask for someone's blood type. Everybody knows their blood type and you just ask it for small talk. I think in the Western world, we don't really ask for people's blood type as small talk, but in Korea, it's super common. The reason is because in Korea, it's believed, it's not seriously believed, but more of a fun way believed, just like we believe in horoscopes, that every blood type has a different personality. For example, blood type A tends to be very shy, but also kind of disciplined and hardworking. B type is more extroverted, outgoing, and the way you usually say what your blood type is in Korean, you say A형 for your blood type is A or B형. So you just add the 형 to it to say blood type. But in this case, you are guessing your date's blood type, but you don't say A형 or B형, you say 인형. And in Korean, 인형 is used as a compliment for people who look very, very beautiful. When you translate it literally, it means doll. But in Korean, it is a compliment. It means you look so beautiful. It's surreal, basically, because dolls are handmade. Nobody actually physically can look like a doll, so it's meant as a compliment. This one is actually for the lesbians. You can use it to a man, especially if he's a beautiful man, but if you're dating a woman, this is the one you want to use. Okay, you're done with the first date. You guys are getting closer now, so we need stronger weapons. 딸기 맛 괜찮지? This means strawberry flavor is okay, right? The point of this phrase is you're insinuating that you're about to kiss. So instead of saying, can I kiss you? You're saying, you're okay with strawberry flavor, right? Because I'm about to kiss you. You can also do this in different ways. For example, 딸기 맛이 좋아요? 사과 맛이 좋아요? Do you prefer strawberry flavor or apple flavor? For example, if you have 2 lip glosses or lip balms. Okay, next one. 오늘도 야근이네. 다시 널 볼 때까지 내 마음은 늘 야근이야. This means, looks like today I'm working overtime again. Until I see you again, my heart's always working overtime. So this is one you can say when you're about to say goodbye after your date. 야근 means overtime. It's a combined word. 야 means night and 근 means work. This is a word you'll hear all the time in Korea because everybody works overtime. Everybody works 야근. The twist here is that it's your 마음, your heart that's working overtime. It's just just a very fancy way of saying that you miss them and you want to see them whenever you're apart from each other. Next one. 어떻게 하는지 도저히 모르겠어. 네 생각 그만하는 법. This means I just can't figure out how to stop thinking about you. By now, you're probably noticing that in Korean, it's really easy to kind of give a sentence a twist just by the ending. This is just another one of those examples. When you say 어떻게 하는 건지 도저히 모르겠어, you're like, oh, I just can't figure it out. I just don't know how to do it. I can't figure it out. And your date is gonna think, what is troubling you so much? And then you hit them with the 네 생각 그만하는 법. How to stop thinking about you. It's very unexpected, cute. I think you get the gist. Okay, now you've been on dates, gotten closer. They know what your lip tint tastes like. What's the next step? If you want to get proposed to, these phrases are gonna be very useful because in Korea, very often you don't say anything directly, you hint at it. 이제 집에 가자. 장모님이 기다리셔. This means, let's go home now. Your mother-in-law is waiting. The point of this one is you're suddenly referring to your own mom as their mother-in-law, even though you're not married yet, but you're kind of hinting at it. You want to become a family, you want to get married. So this is a very good hint you can use. The word that's commonly known for mother in Korean is 어머니 or 엄마. But when you're referring to your own mom from your partner's point of view, you call her 장모님. 장모님 means mother-in-law, but in Korean there's a distinction whether it's your mother-in-law or their mother-in-law. Because their mom for you is 시어머니, but your mom for him is 장모님. Okay, next. 시집이 갈까? 아니면 너한테 시집이나 갈까? Let's translate literally first. Should we go to CGV or should I just marry you? This sounds confusing when you translate it literally, so let me give you the meaning behind it. CGV is a movie theater in Korea. So first you're asking, should we go to the movies? Then the following sentence is a wordplay. In Korean, when a woman marries, instead of 결혼하다, you can also use the word 시집가다. And by attaching 이나 to 시집, you kind of make it nonchalant. And the reason why this works so well in Korean is because the movie theater name CGV and the word for marrying 시집이나 갈까 has a very similar pronunciation. 시집이, 시집이. Okay, next one. 야, 그건 그딴 게 웃기지 않냐? 근데 너랑은 하고 싶더라. Let's do the literal translation first, even though it is always a bit hard with these to make them make sense when you translate them literally. But this means, isn't getting engaged kind of ridiculous? But with you, I actually want it. Let me give you some cultural context again for this one. In Korean culture, it's actually not very common to get engaged. Proposals are a very new thing here, probably inspired by all the proposals people see online, but traditionally, proposals aren't really a thing in Korea. Getting engaged is not really a thing in Korea. It's just not really a stage you label. Once you get married, you get married. You don't label the promising to get married duration of your relationship. So the first sentence kind of plays around with that culture. Isn't it kind of funny or ridiculous to promise each other that you're gonna get married, but with you, I'm down. So you're kind of making them feel special again. And that's already it. Those are my go-to Korean phrases for every stages of dating, from saying your first hello to happily ever after. Let me know which line you'd be bold enough to try, or drop your favorite in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Whether you're having a crush, dating, or just dreaming, good luck out there, and remember, confidence is the most attractive language. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye!